Hey everybody, it is Mr. Gerald, and we are back in class again. Well, Google class anyway. And now we're all set back up to our classrooms as per the classroom periods that we were assigned throughout the year. Changes it up a little bit. That just helps us teachers keep track of it, but also to answer those questions you might have. I think get a little bit more familiar with it as well. So here's kind of how things are going to get started. Very similar to last week. Each day or each week, you'll have a handout with notes that cover that week's material, just like we did early in the year when and even with the packets, we would go through the material, and you would take the notes that I would go through in class, and then you'd be able to keep those notes to be able to use to answer those questions. Well, we're going to do the same thing, and if you're able to take a copy of that handout, if you're able to print it, great, but you don't need to. You can use some notebook paper, but you can also take a screenshot if you need to along the way. Then also you'll have a video. I'll be working through that notes page with you so that it's a reminder of everything we're doing. Everything that we're doing from this point is all review anyway, so nothing here will be new to you. Okay, so there will be a possibility of having other video links. I know all of you, every one of you just loved Math Antics, so we'll make sure that I get you some of those and probably a few others as well. Anytime you ever have questions, okay, you can get in touch with me one of three ways. There's the Google Classroom messaging, there is Remind, and my work email address. Okay, any of those three, you can reach me. As a reminder for Remind. I sent out new codes on Sunday evening, and the pre-AP students are all going to be in one big Remind group, and then the general math students will be in one big Remind group. So I'm only going to have two groups because all the material will be the same. But for the general math students, I accidentally sent out two codes. Please make sure that you use the updated code so that you are in the general math and not in the pre-AP class. All right, so let's get started. And if you're able to download the document, the handouts page for, or cheat sheet as it's called here, for the rational numbers, okay? Then you can, if you printed it, great. If not, just a sheet of notebook paper. All right, so what we've got is on the left-hand side, we've got rational numbers. We're going to go through the rational numbers on the left. Okay, and then we're going to come down here in a few minutes, and these are some classifications. So we're going to talk about them and then walk through a few of those examples on the bottom. Okay, I want you to notice there's one thing missing with rational numbers. What's missing here? Nobody? Okay, I see a few hands finally. Thank you. There is actually a smaller subset inside of a whole number, but they're not talking about it here. So right now we're not going to answer any of these problems missing that other subset that's inside there. So I'm gonna draw a box here because this is the subset. Okay, but if you'll remember, it's counting or natural numbers. Okay, but the reason I'm not going to do that is because this worksheet did not set it up with having counting numbers. So when we look at the problems below, none of those answers will be in counting numbers. Okay, so but if you'll remember, under Group A, all right, under Group A, you have a whole number. Okay, those whole numbers are all positive counting numbers starting with 0. And remember, counting doesn't have a 0; it starts at 1. Okay, then that second group we're going to look at will be the integers. Integers are in that little bit larger box. Those are whole numbers and they're opposites. So if you have a 2, the opposite of a 2 would be? Nobody? Good, -2. Next time, raise your hand. I appreciate it. Okay, so then what about a whole number would be 420,000. Yes, the opposite is -420,000. All right, that's what the opposite means. Okay, the opposite means it's negative. Okay, the negative number. All right, and finally, we're going to look at, how about we use, let's use this cool orange. All right, so finally, rational numbers. All of those numbers are rational, but they also fall into different subcategories of that, okay? And then it does include the fractions, repeating decimals, and terminating decimals. All right, any questions? Good. All right. No questions. Awesome. All right. So let's look. And so what we're going to do is take each of these numbers that are listed and we're going to put an A, B, or C and determine if they're whole, integer, or rational. Well, the answers are already on here, but that's fine. And so 14, okay, this first problem, okay, the number is 14. That is A. That would be a whole number. It's a positive counting number. Okay. Look at the next one. -9 over 1. That's just -9. So that would be, okay, so that's the same as saying -9. That's a negative value, so that's an opposite. So yes, that would be an integer, B. Okay? All right, remember, you're looking for the smallest subset that these numbers could fit into. All right? All right, so those are the values you're looking for. And then if you look at the fourth one down, -3 and 4/9. Okay, just because it's negative does not mean that it is an integer. But look at it first and see that it is a fraction. Where do fractions go? Fractions go into the rational set. Okay, then you'll see some decimals down there and those things. So, but here's one thing I want to remind you right here, this one right here. -6/3. Always look and make sure you can see if you can simplify. What is -6/3? That's the same thing as saying -6 divided by 3. What is -6 divided by 3? That is equal to a -2. Okay, so it is -2. Where does -2 fall in our sets and subsets? Very good. That is an integer. All right, excellent. Okay, so I'm going to complete this worksheet and just walk through very quickly and remind you. Now we're looking at operations of rational numbers. So if you're going to, if you've got addition, if the signs are the same, then you're going to add them and use that same sign. If they're different, then you subtract those numbers and then take the sign of the number with the greatest absolute value. Okay, subtraction. All right, rewrite the problem to add the opposite. Okay, add the opposite. All right, and so what that means is if it says -6 plus 4, you would want to write that as 4. It's telling you to say plus a -6. Okay, and so you'd be saying 4 minus 6, and there as you get your rules up top is where you would, if there are different signs, you're going to subtract and take the sign of the largest one. In this case, 4 minus 6 would be -2, okay, for that example. Finally, multiplication. If there's an even number of signs, then that solution is positive. What that means is if you have -3 times -4 times -2 times -1, okay, you've got an even number. See, there are four negative numbers. That means you have an even number, so that answer will be positive. But if there's an odd number, and if you said -3 times 4, that's an odd number of signs, so your answer is negative. Okay, so this answer, by the way, on the top one, -3 times -4 is 12, times positive 2 is 24, and then you have -3 times 4, which would give me a 12. Let's put a box around it. You know I like boxes. Okay, so these are all the examples, okay, of operations with rational numbers. Now, I'm not going to work through any of these. I've got 4 problems I'm going to work on my own in just a moment. All right, so make sure that everybody's got this down. Take a screenshot if you need to. Okay. Okay, if you've got questions, you can come back to me. Reach me in those 3 ways that I mentioned earlier. Okay, so let's go and take a look at I've got some problems here that I want to look at. So what I want to look at is these several problems. Okay, and I want to remind you, multiplying decimals. When you multiply decimals, write this down. Okay, you're going to line up. Let's see, that's kind of messy. Let's see. So you're going to line up. Okay, line up the numbers. That's an NUM. Now up the numbers. So you would say 42.3 times, zoom in here a little bit, 2.1. Okay, let's make this a little neater. 42.3 times 2.17. You're lining the numbers up, okay? So if you'll notice how each one of these, okay, the 3 and the 7, 2 and the 1, 4 to 2, those numbers line up. So 3 times 7, now we've got to do some multiplication, okay? And so I'm not going to, I'll work this one out real quick. So you got a 1, and then that's 21, carry the 2, 14, put the 2 up there, 14 gives me a 16, carry the 1, 28 is 29. Okay, then you put a 0 here. So 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 4 is 4. Okay, put the double 0 there. Then you get 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 4, 8. Now we add all these up. 1, 9. Okay, 9 and 2 is 11, plus 7, or 6 is 17. Okay, we got 10, 11, 1, 9, 1, 7, 9, 1. Okay, are we missing something? Yes, absolutely. Because we have 2 numbers behind the decimal here and 1 number here. So we have to move this decimal 3 places. 1, 2, 3. So our final answer is 91.791. Yes, I did that very quickly because you know how to multiply. I'm reminding you that you line up the numbers when you multiply. Okay, when you add, I'm going very quickly, I know, because we've been working on this since the last week of August. So when you add, you're going to line up the decimals. Boy, I'm having a hard time writing today. Okay, hadn't written it a whole lot lately on the iPad. So now we're going to line up our decimals. Okay, so we're going to say 19.324. Okay, let's zoom in here, take a look. Okay, we're going to add 7.91. Line up the decimals. Okay, so if there's nothing in this spot, what do? Good, but a 0 there. 4 plus 0 gives me 4. Remember adding. 2 plus 1 is 3. 9 plus 3 is 12. We're going to carry a 1. So that's 9 and 1 is 10. Plus 7 is 17. Okay, add a 1. So 27.234. Whoops, sorry. Okay? All right, no problems, right? All right, last 2 problems are going to be very quick. I'm sorry, let me go back. Any questions on problem 2 or problem 1? Lining up the numbers to multiply on problem 1 or line up the decimals on addition. Now remember, even though I said addition, it's addition or subtraction for lining up the decimals. Okay. All right, let's take a look at number 3. So for number 3, I know some of you, I'm going to do a little switcheroo. Some of you like purple. I don't remember who that was. Actually, I do, but I'll let you think about it. Okay, so you're going to be multiplying. You do tops, and then you multiply tops and then the bottoms. All right, so you'll say 4 times 7 is 28. Okay, but then you also have 3 times 2. It gives me 28 over 6. So remember, simplify. What can go to 28 and 6? So you divide by 2. So that would give me 14 over 3. And leave it as an improper fraction. Okay, you will see some in some of these worksheets that are improper and mixed. Okay, but you'll have to answer those problems, and you know how to do those. That's from like 2nd and 3rd grade. Okay, and then so any questions on multiplication? All right, last one I'm going to show you today. Okay, it's going to be a division problem. Who remembers how to divide fractions? KFC. I heard a couple of you say it. Please raise your hand, but I appreciate that. Okay, KFC. Okay, that's going to be keep, flip, and change. So what we do is this is going to be the keep. So we'll keep 5 over 9. Okay, then we're going to do, did I mess that up, didn't I? What? Nobody said anything. All right. KCF. KCF. Keep, change, and flip. Okay. Keep, change, flip. All right. I can't believe none of you raised your hand and told me that I made a mistake. All right. Keep, change, flip. All right. So then now all this is now is a multiplication of fractions. So then we're going to multiply these two top numbers together. Then we'll multiply the two bottom numbers together. So you'll end up with 20 over 27. And does that simplify? Actually, it does not. Okay, there we go. All right, so not too bad. One mistake out of several problems. All right, so we got to keep you on your toes. I was just checking to see who was paying attention on that one. All right, so there are 4 problems. Okay, let me give you an opportunity to take a look. If you need a screenshot of them, you may. All right, so that's all that I've got for this video. I'm going to be putting out more videos as we continue on. So everybody stay safe. If you got any questions, issues, or just want to see how things are going, let me know. My family and I are all doing well, and I'm looking forward to getting back to the schoolhouse so we can finish up this school year together. Okay, y'all take care. We'll